Amid the major political turmoil in Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, after fleeing from Dhaka, continues her stay in India's national capital, New Delhi. As per our sources, Bangladesh Air Force C-13J transport aircraft with 7 military personnel has landed at a Bangladeshi airbase after flying over from India. The aircraft was monitored all along its flight path by Indian security agencies. However, Sheikh Hasina continues to stay after she fled. Meanwhile, India is closely monitoring the situation in neighbouring Bangladesh. The Indian government is in touch with the Bangladeshi army as well. The Indian government has asked the army to remain alert within its own boundaries. The government is working on a plan to keep all safe. Joining me on the broadcast is Mr. Salah Shoaib Choudhury, editor of Blitz in Bangladesh. He's a journalist who joins us on the broadcast to bring us all the latest information from there. Mr. Choudhury, we'd first, of course, like to understand what really is the current ground situation in Bangladesh. Mr. Choudhury, if you can hear me.
I can hear you, but I think the network is very low.
Yes, I understand that problem, sir. If you can understand me, Mr. Choudhury, we'd just like to firstly get clarity on what is the ground situation in Bangladesh right now, sir?
You know that just now President has dissolved the parliament.
Yes.
And Khaleda Zia has been released, and the students who were arrested during the protest, they are being gradually released from the prison. So this is actually what's happening, and as the anti-discrimination students movement, they are pressing the government to form the interim government. I mean, they are pressing the president to form the interim government within 24 hours, and they have proposed the name of the interim government, Muhammad Yunus, as the head of the interim government. But we don't have any list from the other side, I mean from the armed forces, that whom they are considering to head the interim government.
Okay, Mr. Choudhury, is it expected that the armed forces at this point in time will be giving in to the demands of the students and the protesters as far as names for the interim government are concerned?
Can you repeat the question?
Mr. Choudhury, what really is the army indicating at this point in time, sir, for plans for the next government?
Army is working actually for forming the interim government. That's what we know right now. And I'd like to give you two breaking information.
Yes.
That there was just now, minutes ago, the former ICT State Minister of Bangladesh, previous Awami League government, Mr. Junaid Ahmed Palak, he was fleeing the country and he has been arrested while fleeing the country. And also 50 million taka cash and foreign currency has been recovered from the residence of senior Awami League leader, Mr. Amir Hussain. This is some side information, but so far we know that the government is working for forming the interim government. But another very important and significant matter that Bangladesh Nationalist Party, BNP, they are demanding to form the interim government as soon as possible and set an election schedule within the next 90 days.
Okay, so interim government as soon as possible and the election schedule to be released within the next 90 days. Mr. Choudhury, we'd also like to understand, you just specified that there is now, are you suggesting some sort of a crackdown is taking place on other Awami League leaders who continue to be in Bangladesh?
As I told you that just now, we have confirmed information about these two cases, and we are not aware of any other crackdown right now. Because I cannot give you the unconfirmed information.
Right, absolutely. And as far as the takeover against the parliament and at the home of Sheikh Hasina, all of those visuals that came in yesterday is concerned, what really is the situation right now? Have the protesters now cleared out from some of those crucial public buildings?
Protesters are actually being seen even this morning within the compound of the National Parliament. And last night, if you know, that last night there were the residence of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was burned to ashes. And there was a rumor that there was fire in the Ganu Bhavan, but we don't know this is clear because the whole country has become an epicenter of rumors. Every time there is rumor, there are rumors from social media, there are rumors from the street. So actually, unless verifying the information, we don't know. And the only source currently is the ISPR, the Army's Public Relations Department, where from we can confirm these sources. So for that reason, if you know about Bangladeshi local media, television channels, they are showing until now yesterday morning's news as breaking news, meaning they are also not getting new information so easily, or they are a bit conservative in publishing any news.
And at the same time, is there any sort of advisory that the army has now released for the people who are in Bangladesh? What is the army's appeal to the people, and is there any specific advisory? Because some troubling visuals did come in of arson, of attacks on certain buildings. So what really is the situation, and what is the army doing about it?
The armed forces has called upon the people to refrain from destroying public properties. At the same time, I should inform you that some phone numbers are given by the armed forces for the people that if there is any case of attack on Hindus in this country, because there were many attacks on Hindus and Hindu temples, so they are giving the advice to the people to immediately communicate to this number, or even there are some instructions to the people to protect the minorities, because there were attacks on Hindu shops, Hindu houses, and I mean, a lot of cases took place about the persecution on Hindus yesterday.
So, Mr. Choudhury, what really triggered these attacks against the Hindu community? Is there some sort of misinformation or disinformation that is being spread? Because from what we understand, the protest was against a certain provision within the quota system that was announced by the newly elected Sheikh Hasina government. How is it that that has now transformed into attacks against Hindus, which happen to be the minority community in Bangladesh? What really has triggered that violence?
You know that for the last 15 and a half years, during the rule of Awami League, there was tremendous campaign on the social media and media portraying Awami League as the key ally of India. And right. Hindus were also shown projected as the prime cohorts of Awami League. So since Awami League government has suddenly collapsed yesterday following the dramatic resignation of Sheikh Hasina and leaving the country, so now people are actually targeting Awami League and Hindus. And there is a widespread of rumor in this country against India, against Hindus. Even there are some social media posts claiming that Indian nationals or members of Indian intelligence have entered Bangladesh. They are killing people. So you understand this kind of the very dangerous propaganda going on.
And Mr. Choudhury, before we let you go, sir, one last question. The release of Khaleda Zia, how exactly is that being read across Bangladesh?
If we understand or if we believe what PNP was saying, that Khaleda Zia is seriously ill, physically sick. So, I mean, she is actually unable to participate in the politics. So, in this case, her son, who is in London for since 2008, and who is also facing two convictions in two different charges. In one of the charges where he was helping to supplying weapons to Ulfa in the northeastern part of India. So maybe now PNP will press the army administration to allow Tariq Rahman return to Bangladesh and declare his convictions null and void. This is the only option for Khaleda Zia. Actually, considering her health condition, I don't think she is able to run the party or the country.
Okay, so in your assessment, Mr. Choudhury, Khaleda Zia's release could not at this point in time mean a long-lasting, stable government for Bangladesh. It is perhaps just, in your assessment, something that could only last for a few months, that she does not at this point in time have the means to once again form any sort of a stable government in Bangladesh.
You see, Khaleda Zia, as I told you, that she is not capable of running politics. So in this case, her son must come back to Bangladesh. And her son, by the US government, has been described in 2008 as the most corrupt person. And so he is a very corrupt person, according to US government's own document. So, I mean, if her son even returns to Bangladesh, it's like getting the old wine in a new bottle, and it will make no change in this whole scenario. And I think the students, the demonstrating students, they are demanding something else. They want new faces like Muhammad Yunus, and they are coming up with some new names. I mean, not the old politicians. So this is a very complicated situation until the interim government is formed. We have to wait. And just one more thing before I conclude, I would like to tell your audience that the student protesters have also in their demand said the interim government must stay in power for 3 to 6 years, and then declare the election.
Okay, interesting news there. Mr. Choudhury, before we let you go, one last quick question on that itself. You're saying that the students who are protesting are demanding that the interim government must be there for 3 to 6 years. Amidst that time, do they want an election to take place, or are they saying that after 3 years, the election can be announced?
No, the students have given a lot of demands for reform in the country, for reform in the Anti-Corruption Commission, for resignation of all the tops of the law enforcement agencies, anti-corruption drive, a lot of things. So to complete or implement their demands, it may need 3 to 6 years, even may 10 years. I mean, there's a big demand, what they're making. They're not just demanding holding of an election, no. They are demanding the reform of the country.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.